Hello, this is Martha Hines with Living the One Light. So today I am feeling called to speak about some energies that are coming up in my praying in the last couple of days that feel relevant, period, but that feel especially relevant given the current astrology that is happening at this moment, and specifically the fact that we're building up to the first eclipse of this eclipse season. And that first eclipse is going to be on October 25th, 2022. I am recording this video on October 10th, 2022. And then the other relevant piece of astrology coming to my mind that fits with what I'm being shown in my prayers is also this Saturn-Uranus square that we are in the middle of. So before I dive into that, I want to say also that I did make a video with Verena Burrell, which is also on my YouTube channel, and that where we dive into the whole eclipse season, and Verena gives her beautiful perspective on it, and I give my perspective. And we talk about the fact that we're going to be holding an eclipse gathering, a really special eclipse gathering on November 7th. So the day before the second eclipse. And yeah, that's going to be a really beautiful time. We talk about that a little more in that video, but it'll be a time where we talk about the astrology of the eclipse, of course, but really it's about us each dropping into our own perspective, our own feeling of the energetics of this eclipse time. And if you want, as part of the payment for that workshop, we will look at where these eclipses fall in your own natal chart. And we won't give you if you want a full deep dive session, you can book a discounted session with one of us, but we will, as part of the workshop, just give you the gist of the house and the position that it's in your chart. And if it's, conjunct something major or squaring something major or whatever, something jumps out at us as, oh, wow, this is really highlighting X, Y, or Z area of your chart, we'll tell you that. And yeah, so that's going to be really special and really beautiful, and we would love to have you join us for that. And I will put the link in this description for this video. But I also recommend that video that I did with Verena. So in terms of this video, a couple of things have come up since I made the video with Verena that I'm feeling really called to talk about. And I think this is relevant for anyone, but it's especially, I feel like I'm especially speaking to those of you who have been writing to me or have been coming to my recent gatherings, or, who I've heard from in some way. So many of us are experiencing this in some version of, quote unquote, an awakening experience, right? And that's such a cliche word, but it is what a lot of people are experiencing. And it is a huge part of what I channel about in my books, Living the One Light, Gaia Speaks, and Cosmos Speaks, and the rest of the Living the One Light series, which is forthcoming. But I channeled Living the One Light, the book, in 2018, exactly, actually September 2018, so almost just over 4 years ago. And then I published it in November 2018. And the entire point of that book, the whole purpose of that book is to be a guide for people who are going through the awakening process. And now, 4 years later, I have a lot of you coming to me in various ways, either by writing me or having sessions with me, or coming to the group healing sessions or the group soul wisdom gatherings, who are having these awakening processes going on. And so now what the spirit world is channeling through me is really, I would say it's related, of course, to the Living the One Light book and the Gaia Speaks book and all of that, but it's really concrete hand-holding tools. How do we navigate this? Okay, if we're supposed to be awakening and it's even just happening without us necessarily trying to have it happen, for a lot of us, it just sort of happens at some point. It can be very unnerving. It can be really confusing. That's what a lot of Living the One Light speaks to, is when you start to experience these things, for each of us, it's very different, but a lot of the time there's no one there to talk to about it. And there's just this confusion of what is going on and why is this going on? And how do I do this? Because it's just happening. And so please, there's the sense of like, someone please just be there to let me know I'm not crazy and kind of normalize various things that I'm experiencing. So that's really what the spirit world has asked me to be present for, is to be someone who does that. And that's what I do. But more and more, what the spirit world is moving through me is just these very grounded, practical reminders for us of, from moment to moment, these ways that we are needing to be held and reminded of what it is, what the heck is going on here. So that's, that's all relevant to what I'm about to say, which is, in the past couple of days, 2-3 days, in my prayers, I have been getting shown two main things that they're wanting me to convey in this video. One is, as we're moving toward this eclipse coming up on October 25th, this eclipse will be at 2 degrees Scorpio, conjunct Venus, also at 2 degrees Scorpio. Mercury will be at 22 degrees of Libra, so 10 degrees away from the actual new moon, but still conjunct-ish. And then Pluto is at 26 degrees Capricorn, so within orb of a square to the new moon and Venus and all of that. And Pluto rules Scorpio, which is the sign that the south node and this new moon and Venus are on this eclipse. And the south node itself is at 13 degrees Scorpio, and then Uranus is at 17 degrees of Taurus near the north node of the moon, opposite the new moon itself. Okay, so those are kind of all the players that are the big ones in the eclipse. And the biggest feeling that I'm having in my praying about this at the moment is, if you were going to set up a scenario that would foster the release of old gunk, you almost couldn't get more than this. I mean, you could I can think of ways you could, but this is so incredibly powerful for releasing what needs to go. And what I was feeling and being shown in my own praying this morning was the sense of the spirit world in my own body, in my spine, in my organs, in my physical body, in my energetic body, releasing dark energy, basically, right? And I've had this happen countless times over years and years and years, and you probably have too, in various ways. but this felt like extra. And this definitely felt like the coming of that energetic of that South Node Scorpio new moon eclipse absolutely feels, we are in the realm of that energetic now, and I can feel it. So what the spirit world was saying to me is that, yeah, they're speaking to me specifically, but they're speaking, I think, just in general, because they're very clear that they want me to convey this in a video too for you. So this is a time, this is an opportunity for us to be really purging these darker, deeper energies of not only our soul, but also the energetics of the collective that maybe that are in our own system that don't need to be there. Dark energies of other lifetimes, other existences. And when I say dark energies, I don't mean like dark forces. I don't mean conspiracy theory. I'm talking about sadness, grief, trauma, difficult emotions that are present in this world, just very, very present. And then what they're showing me right now is then we have Uranus sitting on the north node of the moon, opposite this stuff in Scorpio, the new moon and the south node, and Venus. And Uranus on the north node is it's like holding a torch. It's like holding a light. And so our goal is to re-become the light. We are the light. I mean, it's a re-becoming, but it's really just being what we already are, which is the light of the divine. But in this reality of incarnating on this planet and in various forms over many, many lifetimes and eons and existences, we've identified with so many aspects of trauma and suffering on this planet and just in existence. And in order for us to be present, fully grounded and present on this planet Earth as these beings of light that we are, is really, really key and important for us to continually purge, let go, layer after layer after layer after layer. And again, the caveat I give to this is it's not about being all love and light. It's not about being, in a state of denying suffering. That is not the point at all. In fact, for me, the point is the opposite. It's to be able to look suffering straight in the eye and be in that grounded, fully present state of being as the light of the divine. So, many of you know, I was a social worker for many, many years, and I looked suffering straight in the eyes so many times. I mean, intense, horrific suffering, right? I don't shy away from it, and I don't want to. It's part of why I'm here on this planet, is to see it face on and to ground, to be a grounding presence of light. A very strong one, and sometimes even a fierce one, in a sense, like not in a rageful way, but in the sense that light is stronger than darkness. It just is, because light is the ultimate state of being. So it is what everything will return to. It's just reality, including us. And that's the whole point here. So it's just beautiful and amazing that as we have the new moon on the south node in Scorpio conjunct Venus, being squared by Pluto, we also have Uranus kind of on the north node, giving us like that focal point You are the light. You are the light embodied on earth. You are the light embodied as earth. So the earth also is light. Like in a recent video I did, I was talking about the notion that being the light is a grounded experience. And so that's very important with everything I'm saying right now also, is that this is not about becoming the light and then flying off into Never Never Land. This is about remembering ourselves as beings of light with the earth, who is a being of light, and releasing, like fully connecting into and anchoring into the light of the heart of Mother Gaia Earth, anchoring fully into the light of Source itself, the heart of light, the light of Source itself, and anchoring into the heart of the light of ourselves, our own spirit, our own soul. So all three of those are then aligned, fully grounded, fully online. And then we release and release and release and release and release and release and release. And this eclipse, I can just feel it right now as I'm sitting here. This eclipse is so powerful, so powerful for just letting it go, just deeply, 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 deeply letting it go. And with Venus sitting there, so tightly conjunct the south node of the moon. I mean, sorry, it's so tightly conjunct the new moon, which is on the south node of the moon, in Scorpio, being squared by Pluto in particular. This deep, 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 deep release absolutely might show up as the opportunity for it might show up in relation to relationships. That is highly likely. I would not be surprised if that happens for a lot of people. Might also show up in various ways regarding our self-worth, our self-value, resources, money, things like that. And like I say in the video with Verena, it feels really important to say again that if it does show up in the form of something regarding an outside relationship, that's great and that's fine. And that's how it's meant to show up for you or me or whoever. And it's not about the relationship. That's my unsolicited advice. Just experiment. If that happens for you, and you can write me and tell me, because I'd be really curious to hear about it. Just experiment with the idea that anything that comes up regarding a relationship is actually an opportunity just for this, just to be releasing, letting go, purging, coming back to yourself as this being of light, coming back to your own self-value, your own grounded beauty, your own grounded soul level value, infinite value, that you are completely whole, you are completely enough, you are the power of the divine and source, literally. And so, it's really about, in my opinion, take it or leave it. It's really about purging, letting go of any and all energies that are not in alignment with you, the power of your soul as God, essentially. Yeah, and I just invite you to breathe into that. I'm just feeling, as I'm saying that, the light of the heart of earth, the light of my own heart, my own spirit, and the light of the heart of source, just each lighting up all in a row, all in alignment there. That's the ultimate reality, that feeling. So yeah, it feels really good. Okay. It's a little bit intoxicating. So then the other, it's like almost hard to talk because it feels so powerful and so good. Right. Okay. Anyway, the other part that feels really important to say, and it's relevant also to these energies, and I think especially related to Saturn, still pretty much squaring the nodes of the moon and definitely squaring Uranus. The other message I've been getting in my praying is that Saturn, one aspect of the energetic of Saturn, and another thing that's happening with this, I think the Saturn-Uranus square, is that the Saturn energetic is, this is what the spirit world is telling me in the last couple of days, is like very gentle, soul level, chiropractic adjustment or energetic level. So I don't know if that sounds funny, if it makes sense, but what they say is everything has its place and everything has its time. So Saturn is very related to the right timing of things and the right positioning of things and the right structure for things on the level of divine intelligence, especially when it's squaring. It's in Uranus, it's in Aquarius and it's squaring Uranus. So right now the Saturnian energy is really, really, really trying to help us get into complete alignment with ourselves as the divine, and to create these gentle holding structures for ourselves, including in our own bodies, including in our own systems, that are in complete and total alignment with ourselves as beings of the earth and with ourselves as beings of divine intelligence, the intelligence of the divine. So as we are letting go and purging, there's this, like immense letting go. And at the same time, this Saturn is giving us this gentle holding structure. Because if we're letting go, we could just sort of collapse into nothing, or we could just get really out of whack. But that is not the intention here. Saturn is here holding us gently as we let go. And Uranus is here giving us a focal point of light. We are the light. We are the light of the earth. We are the light of source. We are the light of our own heart. And Saturn is there holding gently, very gently and subtly, just the right amount of holding and just the right amount of pressure. And Saturn is shifting with us just as we need, right? And as we're grounded, fully rooted, anchored in the earth, in our own heart, and in the light, that Saturnian energy also is helping the structure of our own body, our own spirit, and then also even of the structure of our lives and the timing of things in our lives to have a chiropractic adjustment, to really, to get in the right alignment and the right timing. So if X, Y, or Z event has the right timing to be here or here or here or here, that Saturnian energy can help us just know it, feel it in our bodies, can help us feel, okay, yeah, this is a yes, I feel it. This is the right timing, is here, is now. And this is, again, in concert with, in communication with Uranus that's in that square, ourselves as the intelligence of the divine. So when we come into this place of ourselves as the divine, and we really get grounded and rooted in that, one thing that has happened for me, and then I'm guessing is happening for many of you, or has happened or will happen, part of this quote unquote awakening process for me has been, I can see it in visions through my praying, but I can also feel it in my body. The timing of X, Y, and Z is here or here or here or here. For example, maybe it's a yes for me to, for example, I just wrote a new book. It's a short little book, and that's a whole other topic, and I would love to share it with any of you who would want to read it. I'd be happy to send it to you for free if you want to review it for me in the next couple of months. Just email me and I'll send it to you. But so I wrote this book a couple of weeks ago. But what I see in my praying that's very clear is that I'm supposed to publish it in January. Not yet. With my other books, like with Living the One Light, I wrote it, I channeled it in September of 2018, and I published it in November 2018. With Gaia Speaks and Cosmos Speaks, I channeled both of those in August of 2019, and I published them immediately in September of 2019. So it was very, very quick with those three. With this book, it's called Consciousness in Bloom. I wrote the first draft 2-3 weeks ago, and it is absolutely not supposed to be published until January of 2023. I think it's supposed to be published in concert with the new moon in Aquarius. That's my feeling. But it has an exact right timing. And I mean, I'm assuming you know that feeling. It's like, for me, writing the book was a big yes, and publishing it is a big yes, but it needs to be done in January for whatever reason. And then, there are various things that are going to go on with the book that are a yes, but need to happen early next year. And what that's doing is it's giving me a chance to share it with people like you, who maybe there's something that you're going to say to me that I go, oh my goodness, yes, I need to change this chapter in this way. Wow, thank you so much. Or X, Y, and Z thing didn't make sense to a lot of people, and maybe I need to change that. Or people really resonate with this thing, maybe I need to give a little more attention to that. And I'm planning to probably be hosting some speakers for around the time I'm going to be publishing the book, on topics related to the book. And I can feel how the timing of releasing it in January will allow the right people to be coming forward who are meant to be speakers around it, and who are going to be the most supportive to all of you, and to me, and to each other, and to this whole process that we're in of this remembering our full consciousness, which is the point of the book. Consciousness in Bloom. We are blooming. We all are. So especially if you're watching this video, I have a feeling you are in the middle of that blooming experience. So that's what this Saturn, as giving us this epic chiropractic adjustment, is really also speaking to. Okay. So I think that was everything I felt the need to say in this video. I also just want to say that this month, and actually this upcoming 2-3 months, I am hosting many events, and they are all relevant to everything I've just talked about. Also, the recent events I've just held are very supportive of all of what I just talked about. And those gatherings are all available now online indefinitely, and you can purchase them on my Teachable site, which is Living the One Light, the Teachable site of Living the One Light. You can also contact me at livingtheonelight@gmail.com. But just to outline what's coming up briefly, so I'm recording this video on October 10th, and on October 12th, I'm holding a workshop with a wonderful friend, Barbara Juniper, who is a sound healer. And that the purpose of that gathering is going to be to continue this releasing energy, this purging energy through, I will be doing some of a channeled guided portion of it, but then most of it will be Barbara's beautiful instruments and her voice. She's amazing. And she and I did a video also on my YouTube channel, which you can watch to get a better sense of her. And she did a little mini 5-minute sound healing at the end of that video. It's so beautiful. I didn't want it to stop. So, so that's really in service of this purging energy that's coming up with this eclipse. And so again, if you're seeing this before October 12th, would love to have you there at the live event, but then we'll also be recording it, and you are welcome to buy it and have it anytime you like and watch it over and over and over again. Then on October 19th, I'm holding a free gathering for anyone who does want to read the new book, Consciousness in Bloom, and give me feedback as a group. You're also welcome to read it and just email me feedback. But if you are interested in gathering with some other like-minded people and give me feedback as a group, I would really love that. And I just appreciate the people who have already signed up to do that. That's a really big gift for me. Then on Saturday, October 22nd, I'm holding the next Soul Wisdom Gathering. And the theme this month for that Soul Wisdom Gathering is being and seeing as the light. So part of what happens, when we realign, ground, and clear, radically ground, align, and clear, and do this purging that this eclipse is really supporting us in. When we fully then click into ourselves as these beings of light, with earth as light, source as light, our heart as light, well, one thing that happens, and has happened for me very powerfully more and more and more over the past 10 years, is we can start to experience life as the light, which means then we can see through the light. This is at least my experience, and for you it'll be different. For each of you it'll be different, but we can see as the light. We can kind of have a sense of knowing what is right to do as the light. It just shifts. It shifts the way that again, in my own life, it's a game changer. It is what drastically changed my life over the past 10 years and continues to change more and more and more and more over, these many years. And it's just a process that keeps going. So that's what the spirit world wants that gathering to be about, is being and seeing as the light. So that's October 22nd. Saturday. And that gathering, that Soul Wisdom Gathering, and every Soul Wisdom Gathering every month, is free for all members in any level of my monthly membership. So if you're interested in coming to that, I highly recommend you join the membership. And then October 25th, Wednesday, October 26th, the day after this South Node New Moon eclipse, I am holding another workshop with another friend named Michelle Dench, and we're going to be talking about the dark goddesses. So we're going to focus on Ceres and Persephone, Lilith, Juno, and Eris. So I'm really excited about that. And then briefly in November, upcoming, on November 4th will be the next Deep Peace and Healing Circle. This last one last week was so beautiful and amazing. It was really wonderful to be with those of you who were there. On November 7th will be the Eclipse gathering with Verena Burrell, which I'm super, super excited about. November 10th is going to be a workshop with yet another friend named Vanessa Nixon on tapping into our body wisdom. She is a naturopath and a belly dance instructor, and we're going to be incorporating movement and movement with, how various ways we can tap into this intelligence of the divine that we are through our bodies. And yeah, and then more after that, but those are the main ones coming up in the next month. So yeah, the one with Vanessa actually is exactly a month from today, November 10th. Beautiful. All right. So if you feel called to join multiple of these gatherings, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you join the membership at the level D level or above, because the level D includes all of them, all of the gatherings that I just mentioned, and it is actually a very good deal. I might need to, I will hold that rate for, if you buy it at that rate, but I probably will increase that over time because it's such a good deal. I don't know if I can sustain it, but anyway, it's a really good deal. So I highly recommend you do that if many of these gatherings are calling to you. It is definitely the way to go financially. So yeah, I think that's it for now. And, I love hearing from you. I love when you comment on the videos. I love when you email me. I love when you let me know that you like them by liking them. I love if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel. I would really, really love to have you subscribe. And yeah, and if you're called to a lot of what I say and what I'm doing, again, the membership is a win-win. It's a way for me to know that what I'm putting out there is needed and wanted by people. And it's a way for you to support me and for me to support you in a way that's hopefully affordable for you. And again, just gives me a sense that, yeah, I'm on the right track. People are needing this thing. And you can also just tell me directly, yes, I'm needing this thing. But that all helps me know that I'm going in the right direction for what you're needing. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you soon.